career, 27.5 years in the FBI. And in those 27.5 years, I had 13 assignments, so I moved around the country. The only part of the country I never did live in was really the extreme northeast U.S. So also during my career, I handled just about everything. I was counter-espionage, counter-terrorism in New York and Connecticut, and I negotiated with some skyjackers at Philadelphia International Airport for 2.5 hours, July the 12th, 1972. And I ended up being in charge of most of Southern California. Had over 700 personnel under my command. I personally investigated the Oklahoma City bombing case, huge cover-up. Jack Kennedy's assassination, huge cover-up. Bobby Kennedy's assassination, huge cover-up. World Trade Center, huge cover-up. Okay, terrorism. They're using it as an excuse to take away our constitutional rights and our civil liberties. The Bilderbergs. I'm Ted L. Gunderson, a 27-year veteran of the FBI who retired in March of 1979. At the time of my retirement, I was the senior special agent in charge of the FBI Los Angeles Division with more than 700 personnel under my command and a budget of $22.5 million. I have information chiseled in stone, documented that the FBI had advanced knowledge about 911 and did nothing to prevent this from occurring. And this is atrocious. It's unbelievable, having been a former FBI agent myself. And it's very obvious that this whole thing is being orchestrated by the powers that be at the highest level of our government, and I want the world to know about it. The minute I saw the planes fly in to the tower on television, live as a matter of fact, the question I had in my mind was, there is no way, absolutely no way, that somebody could skyjack 4 planes, 20 people, skyjack 4 planes, in this case 19 individuals, and our government would not know about it in advance. We have, the U.S. government, the most advanced intelligence techniques of anybody in the world, and you'll never convince me we didn't have advanced knowledge about what was going on. We saw the airplanes go in, and it's also a question about whether they're remotely controlled. I don't know about that. I hate to comment on something where I have no documentation, but there's much more to this story than has come out so far. You will never in a million years convince me that those buildings, those towers, collapsed because those planes hit them. I'm confident that they were imploded. Other experts who have looked at the pictures say that the buildings were imploded. I think that in order to implode those buildings, there had to be implications, government implications or involvement in placing these charges. I mean, that was a tremendous project. I mean, I don't know how many people would be involved in it. Going back to Oklahoma City, an inside investigator told me there were at least 11 other people involved in the Oklahoma City bombing. Now, if you have 11 other people involved in Oklahoma City, you're going to have 3 or 4 times that involved in the World Trade Center situation. They were flying children out of Sioux City, Iowa to Washington, D.C. for sex orgies with congressmen and senators. And just went on and on. Then I had the McMartin case out of Southern California. The children were dropped off in the school in the morning by their parents. They picked them up late in the afternoon. In the interim, they put the kids through tunnels and up into the trapdoor, the triplex next door, put them in automobiles and prostituted them. 2, 3, 4-year-old children. Unbelievable. And this is how I became involved in all these issues. And I just kept going, as any good investigator would do. I just keep going. The international child kidnapping ring is not being exposed. I have personally given my documentation to the FBI on at least 6 or 8 occasions, and I have been ignored because it's a covert CIA child kidnapping operation that's been active since the early 1960s. What's happening here is these children are being flown, or were in the past in the 1980s, out of Sioux City, Iowa, to Washington, D.C. for these sex orgies for the purpose of blackmailing the congressmen, of compromising them. And, of course, hey, there's a bill that's going to be passed on Monday, and then I can come around to you and say, Congressman, you remember when you were with that little boy, that little girl last Friday? Okay, you better vote this way. That's exactly what's happening. It's called blackmail. This is a CIA covert operation. It's called the Finders out of Washington, D.C. And they're involved in kidnapping and international trafficking of children around the world. And I had, in my day, in the 80s, I had one of the kids who was actually part of the kidnapping team. When he was 10, 11, 12 years old, they would put him out as a decoy in the parks or shopping malls and so forth, and to attract the kids his age over near the car, and then the adults would grab the children and be off with them. One little kid was a 12-year-old newspaper boy named Johnny Gosh out of West Des Moines, Iowa. Johnny Gosh was kidnapped, and back in 1982, he was taken in, used as a sex slave. Later, he and another kid escaped. They stole a car and escaped, and Johnny Gosh is in hiding right today, by the way.